Or 1 out. I actually did not expect Melee to get dropped. I know a lot of people will say that, oh, this shouldn't be a surprise at all, but honestly, a lot of people have said that since like 2014 and every year, you know? Of course, these people will be right at some point. I just feel like the last year it was like more likely for us to get dropped than this year. Nah, I really don't think Nintendo paid for Melee to get dropped. Yeah, it happened. Dude, I'm actually a little bit surprised. I knew this day would come at some point, but as I said like 30 seconds ago, I thought it was more likely for us to get dropped last year. Especially when last year when they announced Injustice as one of the first games, I was like, fuck. Like, Melee actually might get dropped now. But then they actually didn't even pick up Marvel for, you know, a year one. So when we survived last year, I was like, I think we're good for another. The Soul Calibur was expected. The Samurai Showdown was the one when I was like, wait, what? Open to the idea of hosting a tournament in SoCal same weekend as EVO. Honestly, we probably shouldn't. It probably will only look bad that we're, you know, trying to mess with EVO. I don't know. I could see arguments for and against it, because if I recall correctly, a low tier city is the weekend prior to EVO, and SmashCon is the weekend after EVO. So, kind of would make sense in that regard, but I don't know. I'm kind of skeptical. Yeah, that's what I think too, Blair. It would look kind of petty. So, my vote for now would probably be that we shouldn't host anything major. Like, locals and stuff will always happen. That even happens during EVO, I'm sure, like when Melee was there. But I don't think we should aim for anything major in the US the same weekend as EVO. It's probably a bad idea. What people can do is to support the other summer tournaments. Like, imagine if SmashCon have like 1,500 or 2,000 entrants for Melee. Like, hypothetically. Let's say that's the case. Like, when EVO have some games that does not get 1,500 entrants, and they say Melee getting 1,500 at SmashCon, then they might wonder. They might think, was this really the right choice? And I can tell them it was not. But you know, everyone needs to learn their lesson. The best way for Melee to make its way back to EVO in the future would honestly be to just show strong numbers at our tournaments. Like, if we can consistently get really good viewership and really good entrance numbers, then it's a chance that Melee comes back. Like, let's be honest, we know that, you know, some of the EVO staff don't like Melee, but let's be honest, they love money. They're a company. So we can show that we are very clearly, not only barely, but very, very clearly a superior choice, they will pick us back up again. Well, the thing is, we already knew from the start that Ultimate was going to be in. That was like 100% given. And it should be in. It should be in. It was just like, it was never like too much talk about it because it was like, everyone knows it will be in. Melee this year and quite a few other years have always been like kind of likely, but still a clear possibility to get dropped. So it's always like that talk, will Melee make it, will it not? I'm actually pretty sad. I'm not gonna lie. It's gonna feel like last time Melee was not at EVO was 2012. 2012, like 95% of the people that follow Melee didn't know about competitive Melee in 2012. So for a lot of people, this year will be the very first year Melee is not at EVO. The thing is, I think a lot of people will still support Ultimate by watching, but a lot of people that would fly out to EVO for Melee are not going to fly out for Ultimate. And it would be the same vice versa. Like, let's be honest, if you do not live in Vegas or within driving distance to Vegas, it's a big money commitment for a lot of people. And if your main game is not there, I wouldn't expect most people to go there. So I think other events will start pulling Melee as well. The thing is, outside of EVO and CEO, I think it's mainly EVO, CEO, and Summit is like our three. I guess DreamHack as well. That's like our 4 events that are not like grassroots at all, that are actually like relatively big or really big. And Summit, I think will keep having us. They love the Smash scene, and we always do well there. Charles, I would say not being at EVO does hurt the game. It's for sure the event with the most viewership. It's our best advertisement of the year to reach out to more people. So I'll say it will hurt for sure. It's not like, oh, Melee will die or anything like that. But it's a huge disadvantage. No, Aaron, don't say stuff like that. Don't even jokingly try to turn this into it being my fault. Zero's pretty good in Melee in 2014, but then obviously he focused on Smash 4. But I think he was ranked like top 35 in 2014. I know he beat SFAT at EVO that year, and he traded sets with Fiction. He beat Yoshi Amsa at MLG. Like, he was legit. He was legit for sure. But does it seem like people all over Twitter are just bashing Melee? The thing is, Melee is a very special case in esport history. It's not many games like Melee. Like, this is how it normally goes when it comes to esports. The game gets released, it's popular for a few years, a new game gets released in the same series, and the old one dies. Rinse and repeat. Melee is one of the few exceptions to this rule, which means that a lot of people that kind of like cheaps, right? Go from one game to another. They never question whether the game is more fun, better, blah blah blah. Just like sheeps, they keep moving, right? And when the Melee community decided not to, that pisses them off. That's pretty much what it comes down to. They are mad over the fact that some people just don't blindly follow what everyone else does. I never really liked that argument that a game steals, like Melee was stealing spots from traditional fighting games. The way I look at it is that if your game can't put up with the numbers, then people didn't support it. If everyone online that says like, oh, Melee shouldn't be in, this game should be in, instead, if every one of these people showed up to tournaments like EVO, then Melee would not have made it like many years ago. The thing is though, it's much easier to, you know, sit there and complain. Then again, you can make the argument that then all the people that would complain about Melee, if they showed up, blah blah blah, and then it would, like, you know, go on forever. Point is that a lot of people, they just complain without doing anything for it. Do I think EVO will bring Melee back? I think it could happen. Next year, probably not, but 2 years from now, it might come back. Actually, it even could happen next year. Well, if it's not about numbers, but community and passion, I feel like Melee fills up that more than arguably any other community in the fighting game world. Teams have never really been a thing at EVO. It's always been like small side events. So I never cared about like Melee teams at EVO. I did play at it a few years. Like, in 2013 I teamed with Android because that was his first event in the US. So obviously I would enter with him. 2014 I hadn't played with Aniolas in a very long time, so we played. 2015 I was very skeptical about playing, but I did with Ice. Then I think in 2016 and 18 I dropped. I didn't play it. And then in 2017 it was like that team circuit. So I kind of had to play. It was a good idea with the team circuit to give more, you know, attention to Melee teams. But it's very poorly executed. I remember I won EVO 2017, and then I got like 4 or 5 hours. Actually, it was probably more like 4 hours of sleep. Then I had to wake up to play Melee teams. And I remember I told Android, expect me to play like shit. It kind of had to be early in the morning, so it was not going to interfere with Smash 4 top 8. No, I don't think any new Melee major will take EVO's place. Because we already have so much in August. With both SmashCon and Shine. And then low tier cities the weekend prior to EVO. It's just like very cramped anyway. No, I don't believe in that theory either. That it could have been about too much space for CRTs. If you looked at the EVO venue last year, it was so much space that wasn't used. So much space that wasn't used. I really don't think CRTs was any of the reason. Because the EVO staff themselves don't even do anything with the CRTs. Maybe for top 8 they have to set it up. Maybe. But to deny that much money to set up a stream? Nah. As I said, that my personal guess is that other games paid their way in. And obviously, Nintendo didn't pay for Melee to be in, so we kind of got like scooped out. Fates, I'm not gonna lie, me and Zach, the guy housing me, when we were watching, we laughed so much at that part as well. When Mr. Wizard was like, that was so hype. And he sounds so not excited. We just laughed our ass off.
Samurai Showdown.
Yep, Samurai Showdown. Should I tell them what you did?
Yeah, I don't remember what I did, but go ahead.
With a computer?
Oh, yeah. 200 followers on Twitch?
No, a computer to get in.
Oh, yeah, go for it.
So, alright, so I'm borrowing this equipment from Zach, right? And the password to get into the computer now is Samurai Showdown.
It used to be Melee.
Yeah, used to be Melee, but Melee got dropped as the password. Now it's Samurai Showdown. Just so we don't forget about this during our stay.
I already tried to log in using Melee once, and then I was like, oh god, I forgot.
During the old days, that worked.
Melee.
Now it's Samurai Showdown. The only way to get access to a computer.
Samurai Showdown, by the way, has like 200 followers on Twitch. the old game has like 200 followers, and yeah. Anyway,
For a user fan game community, is EVO really that important to Smash? It is important. It is important. It's the tournament that gives the most amount of viewers, and it introduces the most non-Smash players to Smash as well. It's kind of like the Olympics of fighting games. It's like if you have a sport and it's not at the Olympics, that it's not the death of the sport, but it's very clearly an advantage of being there. I don't know why people are surprised by Melee getting cut. I will explain. Despite the relationship with, like, you know, Mr. Wizard not liking Melee, he didn't like Melee last year. He didn't like Melee 2 years ago. He didn't like it 3 years ago. Or 4 years ago. He probably didn't even like it in 2013 either. So, just because he doesn't like the game, doesn't mean that it's a higher chance for it to get in over it getting dropped. Yeah, I agree with Cortex. If you want Melee, if you can and want to go to other events, you should. That's actually the best thing you can do right now. The best thing is to go to events. The second best thing is to watch tournament streams and stuff. Tournament streams, personal streams. You know what? Yo, Dram, thank you for 15 months, buddy. No, the reason Smash, like any Smash game, doesn't have high payouts is because we don't have companies backing with a shit ton of money. If you look at other games, even if you look at like Street Fighter, which is not big if you compare it to like the absolutely biggest esports. But even like Street Fighter, they have like, let's say, Capcom Cup. So they have Capcom pouring in like a lot of money. And then the competitive players that are like really good at the game take in a lot of the money, right? We don't have that for any of the Smash games. Like, Smash tournaments that Nintendo have done, you have gotten like a trophy and maybe a handshake with Sakurai, and that's it, you know? Which might be cool, but that handshake is not paying the bills. Like, people that compete in Smash on a professional level, they don't do it because it's like super, you know, viable, you know, financial route. They do it because they love the game, and then a very, very small portion of the people can make a living out of it. No, we should not host a tournament, like a big tournament for Melee, the same weekend as EVO. If anything, like, nothing good will come out of it. It would only make us look very petty and, like, yeah, bad. I don't think it's a good idea. SmashCon is the weekend after anyway, and Low Tier City is the weekend prior. So the better thing is just to show up to one of these instead. Or both.